Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Saturday morning, guys. I want to say hey to all my subscribers. New to all the season, got a word for you. Tap in. Happy Saturday morning, guys. So I'm back. It's been a minute for this, but I'm back with another segment of your questions, my answers. It's been a minute. So I only pulled 5 for the sake of time. And let's start. The first email was from a young woman who basically wanted to know during the journey, of course, we're all on a journey to destiny, what have been some of the most difficult things along my path. Without a doubt, sis, trying, I'm just having the flashback, I'm sorry, taking my hands up off of things. That has been one of the most challenging things because, again, I'm a person who have been involved in a lot of things, in a lot of ways, a lot of people, all of my life, right? So when you kind of have that A personality and you're always in charge of something, then God hits you with the season of sit down and take your hands up off of it. That's extremely difficult. Very difficult. But you got to be careful because what I learned with that is that God will go silent on you. God will literally go silent on you because you're just not listening. So either you're going to take your hands up off of it, or listen. I ain't got no words for you, boo. So that was difficult. I've gotten so much better with that. So much better. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Next thing is this has been very, very hard, and that is allowing God to remove the people that I couldn't remove, right? Because again, there's going to be a lot of people that drop off along the journey. 50% of those people, I'm like, okay, it's easy because we've already grown apart anyway, so it is what it is, right? Much more easier. But then there's this other 50% of people that you just don't feel like you can for whatever reason. You could have a soul tie, right? It could be some family. It could be people you've known all your life. It could be people who in your mind have never done you wrong, and you may feel like you're abandoning them. Like there's so many different ways and reasons on why God will need you to release somebody. And if you don't release them, he'll release them for you. And that is no fun. So I always tell people, if you can, try your best to release the people that God is asking you to release. Because, honey, when he snatched that rug, your edges will be snatched. That. Also, this might sound a little crazy, but embracing peace. Embracing peace. My life has always been so chaotic between work and family and this and this and this and this and that. Like, always chaotic. And then maybe 2 years ago, I had to start embracing peace. I didn't want to because I didn't even know peace existed in that sense. And I'm talking, when I say peace, I mean just like, seriously, peace. Peace, right? So that was difficult because I'm just like, wait a minute, this is too quiet. This is too quiet. I can't hear anybody, sir. Right? But the funny thing about that is peace is really where God needs you to be. If you're in a season of peace and quiet, it's because he needs you to receive some things, right? You had so many people pulling at you. You're too busy, whatever. This is when you're going to start getting your massive downloads. This is when you're going to really start getting directions and details on what God needs you to do and prepare and even prepare for. So that. But the beautiful thing is that when you discover like peace, real, true peace, it's the only thing you will ever want after that. It will disturb your spirit to be around certain people. You just want that peace. You barely won't even want to answer your phone. It's just peaceful. So that's that. Those are the 3 things that has been the most difficult for me. Next question. A young lady, asked me about discernment. She said she struggled with discernment and she's been burned many, many times. And my thoughts on discernment and how can she pursue discernment. Sis, please pray and ask God for discernment. Pray, just ask him. Ask him for discernment. I remember praying, asking God for peace. I was just in my feelings one day, like, Lord, just give me some peace. And then I got thrown in the season of peace. So you got to ask God many times, right? Ask him for discernment, right? I'm blessed enough to say that I've been gifted with discernment as long as I can remember, honestly, even when I couldn't even put a word on discernment, right? I just always knew that something was right or something wasn't, somebody was right or wrong, or something was right or wrong. It's the feeling. I can't even put it into words. I'll try my best, but it's so hard to put feelings into words. But let's take, if I got two people on the side of me and the person to my left, the spirit isn't right, right? And the person to the right, spirit is right. All right, so the person to the left whose spirit isn't right, there's almost like a block. If you can just think of a entry clear path, right? But there's a block. Something is just not right. I may be able to identify, like, listen, this person like play out with some foolishness, voodoo, demon. They're just up in this demonic room, stirring stuff in a pot. Something ain't right. They're playing with chicken foot, bunny foots, right? Banana peels, black pepper. Okay, so I may be able to decipher this person is a witch, right? Where I may not know that they're a witch, but something is not right. I don't know what is it about you, sir, but something isn't right, and I don't want you near me. Of course, I wouldn't be mean and say that, but no, I gotta go, right? I don't want you near me, anywhere near me, right? Where the person on the right is pure, it's pure, it's innocent. It's just natural, a natural connection. There's like white clouds and bunnies, and it's pure. It's easy. There's no resistance. Then you have the person in the middle, which I said is me, but that's not me. I want to change that back. Okay, now you got a person. Okay, you got the person to the right, to the left. Now let's take the middle person. The middle person, there's a gray area. Meaning you can't really decipher if they're demonic or they're just not good for you. And then you don't feel that clear path of them being pure. But there's something. You don't know what it is, but your spirit is saying it's something. You cannot avoid that. Because see, you can play around with that gray area trying to say, well, I'm going to sit here and try to figure out, maybe I'm missing it. No. Your spirit will never allow you to miss it. Not your spirit. You can miss it because he's fine. You can miss it because she's thick, right? You can act like you didn't feel it, but you felt something. My discernment and my gift of privacy has protected me all of my life from so many heartbreaks and things. I hear people talk about things that they've been through in their lives, and I'm just looking like, God, thank you. I can't even identify with some of that stuff because I've never ignored the dark spirits. However, I've ignored the gray area twice. Long time ago. I've ignored the gray area twice. Feeling like, all right, well, I mean, there's something, but let me try to sit here and figure it out. Because I don't want to like put judgment on them, and I really don't, I don't know for sure because I don't feel the darkness. I don't know. Both times I got burned. Both times, both gray areas, I got burned. Don't ignore that feeling that you're having in your spirit about a person. Please, people's lives get internal. Okay. Ask God, sis. Seriously, ask him for grace and discernment. When he starts giving it to you, right? He's going to start putting things in your face. Excuse me. He's going to start putting things in your face. It might be a person that you've been around for 10 years. He's going to put it in your face. Don't ignore it. Next question. Thank you for your question, sis. I'll save that for the next one. No, let's talk about it. Okay, so a gentleman wants me to talk. He said it's very difficult to decipher if your girl got a man or not. He can't tell. One day it seems like it, the next day he don't know. Right? Okay. Okay. Speaking, sir, thank you for your question. But speaking of what I was just speaking about just now in privacy, right? Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. If anybody who's listening now, you've known me all your life, because some of you guys are here, or you just know me personally, right? You're in my life personally. Please just vouch for your girl to say that I've always been this way. I just didn't start being private 5 years ago. When I tell you lifetime of privacy, always been a very, very private person. I believe now that is because, God have given me the gift of discernment very early, as well as I'm an empath. So I feel all that nonsense people got going on. So it's so important to guard whatever is in your life, especially, all caps, especially the things that God has blessed you with. I don't care what that is. If God have blessed you with things, you gotta guard it with your life. People don't get it. They don't get it. They don't get it. When I was speaking a few minutes ago about how people's lives have been upside down because they've X, Y, and Z, I don't have those issues. When I say I got burned in time and two, it might be somebody was just disloyal. They may have just tried some foolishness behind my back, but I've never had no upside down of a relationship, because I have the whole world who I'm dating and who's X, Y. Why? For what? For you to get up in my ear and tell me things about my man and try to start this foolishness and all that. No. Anything I need to know, God will show me, right? I don't need a person to tell me anything. God will show me anything I need to know, right? So now you can try to get up in his ear and tell him X, Y, Z, or you see me somewhere having too much of a good time. Now you want to snap a picture of your girl and send it to my man because you want, She don't play those games. I'm very, very guarded. I'm very, very protected over anything. I have a very simple life. People don't believe that because I guess I look like, I have a very simple life. I always have. I'm very protective of my family. Don't try it, right? I'm very protective of everything that God has blessed me and entrusted me with. Here's my thing for the guys. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. Now, I will say this. I'm not married, because obviously that's public information, right? I'm not married. I will say that. But here's the thing for the guys. If I met you today at Walmart, and if I tell you I have a man, will you still try to holler? Sir, you don't care about my man. You will try to holler anyway. So what difference does it make? Shoot your shot. Shoot your shot, sir. People don't even respect marriages anymore. So you're going to respect my relationship? So shoot your shot, sir. But that's intentional. You can't figure it out for a reason. For the ladies, please. For the life of me, stay up out of my comment section on certain videos with your foolishness, right? Stay up out of my email with your questions. Or you admire me so much, but is this your man? Please stop asking me that nonsense. I've already told you guys on videos, on recordings. I've said it. I will say it on your local news if you need me to. I'm not answering your questions, personal questions. Anything you need me to talk about for the Lord, honey, for your journey, all I can do is give you my opinion and lead you to God first and foremost. But you're just not going to get the answers that you're looking for. What's funny? I was telling a friend of mine this the other day. Like with my YouTube, I think because a lot of people don't have their notifications turned on, they typically come back to my video, my channel, just maybe every day or every other day to see I posted something new, versus the notifications being on, and then they know a new video is posted. So this is why you will see a video or recording, I should say, it won't really pick up the volume until a day or two later. But honey, about 6-7 months ago, I think I posted a video, and I just wanted to do it just randomly for the same reason, just to see how nosy people is. I forgot how I titled it, but it was something in regards to my man, something like that. Honey, that was the most, that video got 130 views in a matter of 15 minutes. Seriously. So y'all don't really care about the little bit of wisdom God has given me, right? Y'all don't care about my little discernment. Y'all don't care about, kids, you're so motivational. No, you want to know about my household. Lord have mercy. No, I get it. I get it, sir. And I'm sure, you may be the one. And first of all, thank you for such a respectful email. But you may be the one that's not that you're nosy. You just want to know because maybe you are the very, very small percentage of individuals who do respect people's relationships, boundaries, etc., right? Shoot your shot, sir. But that's intentional. It really is intentional, right? I like to make people think. I'm very mysterious, I've heard. That's a good thing. Keep you captivated. Next thing. Changes on someone wanted me to talk about what has been my most difficult assignment. Oh my goodness. First of all, I don't even want to go back there. I don't even want to go back there. Next, I don't think I have even enough time because there's more than one. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you this: when they say, "What's the Bible verse by God keeps his toughest soldiers for the battles" or something like that? Y'all respect me? I'm sorry. Y'all help your girl out here. I don't mean no disrespect. Lord knows I don't. But it's a Bible verse, something about God keep his soldiers, toughest soldiers for the toughest battle, something like that. But listen, I promise you that's true. God, I promise you that's true. But he be right there with you the whole time. I don't really want to speak about that. Let me think about that more in detail. And I'll probably email you back on a few things. But I will talk about one of my most nerve-wracking assignments. Okay. Like, I've never been around a person who has addiction to the point of, like, withdrawals. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. But that disturbs my spirit. Like withdrawals, like their whole body is shaking and jumping and they're foaming at the mouth. And like, seriously, like that's disturbing. I'm really scary, right? I have a big mouth, but I'm very, very scary. So, okay. This was definitely before the pandemic. I can't even think when. So I was renting out my condo, right? And so this gentleman, very handsome. If I had to describe him, like the picture they show us of Jesus, how Jesus supposedly looks from the stuff that they showed us, he looked like Jesus with blonde hair and blue eyes. Very attractive guy. And he came with his mom. Mom was beautiful. Mom had a very clear spirit. Actually, they both did, if I'm honest. I didn't feel any type of resistance. And they knew God. Because we sat there for hours and had a conversation. Make a long story short, because I connected with them, I just really jumped him along ahead of applicants. About a month in, I was out of town. I was in LA, matter of fact. And I got a call from one of my neighbors. And he was like, hey. His name was Buddy. He's like, hey, I'm just calling to check on you because, just making sure you're okay. And I'm like, yeah, I'm out of town. I had to make it to the condo. He said, yeah, but I saw the EMS going inside your house. And I'm just like, what's going on with Kizzy? You see who? Going where? The EMS. So now I'm freaking out, right? So I'm calling the gentleman's phone. He's not answering the phone. So I hop on the flight because now I'm freaking out thinking that there's some, I don't know what's going on, right? So I flew back in. He's still not answering the phone. So I got my key fob, got to the house. The top lock was on the door. I can't even get in the house. And finally, he opened the door. And he had this look on his face. And he looked at me. He said, Kizzy, I'm sorry. I should have told you. I'm like, tell me what, sir? He said, I'm an alcoholic. So, listen, you got people who are alcoholics that we see 50 times a day. You don't even know it. So I'm not going to judge you. We all got our stuff. I like champagne, right? I walk in my house. It was something that I had never seen in my life. The house literally was like a tornado came. Everything was everywhere. Things were broken. There was just trash everywhere, like the hoarder's home. The hoarder's home. How he was able to do that in a matter of a month, or I don't even know how he even got that to that point. So he just started crying. He was like, I should have told you. And I begged my mom not to tell you either, because, people like to judge people because of the demons we fight and X, Y, and Z. And I went to the bathroom, and the whole darn toilet, the bowl part, is in half. I said, what happened to my toilet? And he's crying, and he's got this wine bottle. He's shaking. He got this wine bottle. He may have been about 32. Got this wine bottle, and he said he couldn't find a cork. And so he decided to take the wine bottle, a corkscrew opener, and attempt to open the bottle, crack the top off the wine bottle because he was going through withdrawal, to open the wine, and it cracked the toilet bowl. And then I look to my left, and there's this female. Beautiful girl, but clearly overtaken by demons, who's his girlfriend. And they had met in, I guess, sobriety 6 months prior. And she flew down, and oh my God. She had some demonic spirits. She did. And the crazy part about it is, this guy had really been on the right path, right? But she convinced him that she had been clean. And see, this is why I tell God, you got to be careful about the woman. A woman got so much power over a man, and they don't even get it. This dude had already moved back home with his family. He's on the right path. He already got back in school. He was doing amazing. And the temptation of this woman, who clearly had her own demons, begged him to come back down, and they're going to make things right. And just that quick, she came over and took control of his soul again. So make a long story short, what made it difficult, trust me, honey, they took care of your girl, because they had plenty of money, right? They took care of your girl, but still that defeats the purpose. So hear me again, like God, every time I'm up in something foolishness like this, I know it's some kind of assignment. I don't know what it is. I'm not about to even sit here and deal with this demonic girl, right? Unless you tell me to, but my spirit don't tell me you're telling me to. So I'm going to leave her where she at and pray behind the scenes, because she is plagued with demons. It was very obvious. Very beautiful girl, but Jesus, Lord. Okay, so after I got her out the house and all this other stuff like that, I call his mother. Ma'am, you ain't talking about your son, ma'am. She was like, did he relapse? Ma'am. And she started crying. The daddy called or whatever, and they were saying that he could come back, but they were going to take him back to a sober house the next day, whatever. I was like, listen, I'm going to get him in my truck. I'm going to bring him to your house. I said, he's already taken care of me, financially. I'll hire somebody to clean his house up, or whatever. So when I got him in my truck, mind you, he was still withdrawn from alcohol. What was crazy to me is that it makes me wonder if it was only alcohol, because they had tons of alcohol there. But from what he was telling me is that he needed liquor. The wine was just not doing it. And all he had was wine in the house, and they just didn't have a car, none of that stuff, whatever. So when we got in the car, as I'm taking him to his mom's house, the dude starts withdrawing. Mind you, I've never seen this. And from my understanding, alcohol withdrawal is even more intense than just your average drug. I think they kind of correlate to the heroin withdrawal. I don't even know. I don't know what it was, honey. But all I know is they ain't been right. So he's on the passenger side. I'm talking about he has no control of his arms. His arms are swinging. His head is going back and forth like he's convulsing. It's like he's trying to hold his own arms down, and then it'll hit him where he's trying to grab me, not like in an aggressive, bad way. Well, definitely aggressive, but not in a bad way, but more so less in a please help me way. And I'm driving. So I had to pull over. I had to get the EMS to come get him, because I couldn't drive him like that. So when they came and get him, they was like, sir, no, you ain't going to your mama's house. You going to the hospital. Like, and so they got him to the hospital, all that stuff like that. And he just kept crying. He just kept looking at me. He said, please, please, I'm so sorry. I'll give you more money. Please just don't judge me. And I know I should. He was just, whatever. So the next day, I hear God says, assignment time. Lord, please, can I have a break? But his mom called me and she invited me over for lunch. I guess she wanted to apologize for not being, I don't know. Maybe she thought I don't know. So when I got there, she gave me the address when I got there. Listen, $1 million homes, $1 million homes. So I went into the house and, she had dinner and we were sitting in the sunroom, not sunroom, but the SUN sunroom. And she just started crying. And she's like, I just don't know what I've done wrong in my life. I've praised God, all my life. I've given to charities and I such and such and such and such. So she's going on and on. She said, I have 2 children. And she said, I pray for my son daily. I just don't understand. I don't understand. What did I do to deserve that? Boom, it hit me. Assignment. Assignment wasn't even about the son or this young girl who had to leave, go back where she came from. It was about his mom. I felt it clear as day. I said, and I can't give you the whole conversation. That'll take forever. But to summarize, I said, ma'am, listen, you got people who are dealing with addictions all day, every day. It's not uncommon. Okay, you said you've been dealing with this since he was 16 years old, 15 or 16. He had something traumatic to happen to him in childhood, right? So you've been dealing with this. And you're asking God, what did you do to deserve this quote unquote bad son? Maybe God chose you to love on your son properly. So you got all this money, all this wealth, all this, and that. And so God gave you a child who's struggling with addiction and you're just seeing it as a stain on your clothes. I get it, but that's your child. You acknowledge he dealt with trauma in childhood. Do you know most people with addictions are covering up trauma? And then it just, their body gets chemically dependent on whatever that thing is. And now it's a disease. It's a choice to pick it up, but it's a disease once their body is chemically dependent on it. You know God. So have you ever thought about God gave you, right? And I had this conversation with people who have children with disabilities. God handpicked you. He handpicked you for a purpose. And you're looking at your child like he's a scum on the earth. That's your child. Love on him. War for him. He can't do it himself. War for him. God chose you. He could have chose anybody in this world to be this boy's mom. And he chose you. He's not scum. He's a child of God. He has an addiction. And versus worrying about what your friends and their millions of dollars may say, don't be ashamed of your child. And she just couldn't stop crying. She said, I never saw it as that. You're right. I saw it as a stain. I saw it as an embarrassment. But you're right. I love my son. My son is a good person. He really is. It's just that the addiction. And so fast forward. I mean, we talked longer. We actually stayed in contact for quite some time. And he got back clean and healthy and sober. I pray he's still that way. But listen, I don't even know how long I'm talking, honey. That has been one of the most challenging, without a doubt. More so less because I never seen anything like that, honey. That withdrawal is no joke, honey. And I laid some hands up on him. once EMS came and strapped his behind down, honey, I laid some hands up on him, right? So I pray he's okay because he really is a good guy. He called me like a few weeks after just to say, he was doing great and he's back in the recovery. So I hope, again, this is years ago, but I hope he's doing well. I think I had one more. Can't even read it. I can't even read my own handwriting. I'm sorry. It was one more question. I'm sorry, guys. I can't even read my own handwriting. Whoever the 5th person was, I'll email you back because I wrote down your email and I cannot read my own handwriting because I was kind of scribbling over some things and I kind of scratched out your question. But I will, I'll email you back. I'll email you back. I'm sorry. You guys have a great weekend. It's your girl, Kizzy.